everyone. Tonight, we slip into a world where the air hums with secrets, where every step feels like a trespass into someone else's dream. Picture this, a road so quiet you hear your own heartbeat, fog curling like fingers around your ankles, and a signpost ahead, half swallowed by mist, pointing to a town that shouldn't exist. You might not survive this. So, before you get too cozy, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're listening from tonight. Now turn off the lights, maybe switch on a fan for some soft white noise, and let's begin our journey tonight. The fog clings to me like damp wool as I walk my trainers scuffing against cracked asphalt. I don't know how I got here, honestly. It's like the universe hit shuffle and dropped me into a low-budget horror flick. The signpost reads, Wellesmere, a name that sounds like it was coughed up by a Victorian poet. My phone's dead naturally, because what's a creepy adventure without a bricked iPhone? The air smells of wet earth and something sharper like burnt sugar. I pulled my jacket tighter, wishing I'd packed more than a granola bar and misplaced optimism. Ahead, Wellesmere's outline emerges crooked rooftops, a church spire stabbing the sky, and streetlights flickering like they're auditioning for a ghost story. It's too quiet, no cars, no dogs, not even the hum of a distant deli. My gran used to say, silence is the world holding its breath. She'd know. She lived through 2 wars and a marriage to my granddad, who snored like a chainsaw. Her wisdom sticks with me. Trust the quiet, but don't turn your back on it. I pass a shuttered shop, its windows smeared with grime. Inside, mannequins stand frozen, their plastic eyes glinting. Fun fact, mannequins were originally made from wax, and some Victorian ones melted in shop fires, leaving behind creepy puddles. Shudder. I keep moving my shadow, stretching long under the streetlights. The fog seems to pulse like it's alive, guiding me toward the town's heart. I mutter, if this is a prank, I'm billing you for therapy, but there's no one to hear my sarcasm. The street narrows, cobblestones slick underfoot. A debate rages in academic circles about whether humans can sense being watched. It's called the gaze detection hypothesis. Right now, I'm team yes, because my neck prickles like I'm starring in someone's nightmare. I glance back, half expecting a jump scare, but it's just fog and shadows. Still, I quicken my pace, heart thumping like a bass line at a dodgy club. A shape looms ahead, a pub its sign creaking. The weary traveler, it says, which is so on the nose, I almost laugh. The windows glow faintly, promising warmth. My stomach growls that granola bar's a distant memory. I push the door hinges, groaning like they're personally offended. Inside, the air's thick with pipe smoke and the murmur of voices. A barman polishes a glass, his eyes sliding over me like I'm a maths problem he can't be bothered to solve. Evening, I say, aiming for casual. He nods, pointing to a stool. The other patrons, 3 old blokes in flat caps, don't look up from their pints. Their faces are weathered like oak left out in the rain too long. I order a tea because I'm not daft enough to drink mystery ale in a place like this. The barman slides a chipped mug my way, steam curling like a question mark. I sip, scalding my tongue, and scan the room. A fireplace crackles, spitting embers onto a stone hearth. Above it, a clock ticks its hands, stuck at midnight. Joke number 1. I bet that clock's been broken since dial-up was a thing. The tea is bitter, but it grounds me. I lean back, letting the pub's warmth seep into my bones, though that prickling on my neck doesn't quit. One of the old blokes coughs a wet rattling sound. He mutters something about newcomers, and the others nod their eyes, flicking my way. Great, I'm the main character in their gossip. I try to eavesdrop, but the fog outside seems to muffle sound like it's jealous of the conversation. My grand's voice echoes again. Strangers are just stories you haven't heard yet. She'd probably charm these geezers with a biscuit and a war anecdote. I finish my tea, the mug leaving a ring on the bar. The barman's still polishing that glass mate it's clean enough to perform surgery with. I fish out a $5, but he waves it off. First one's free, he says, his voice like gravel. Joke 2, free tea in a creepy pub. That's how you know you're doomed. I thank him, standing my legs stiff from the cold walk. Outside, the fog's thicker swirling like it's got plans. The pub door creaks shut behind me, and the street feels narrower, the shadows sharper. I head toward the church spire, its silhouette a beacon in the haze. Something moves in my peripheral vision, a flicker like a curtain twitching. I freeze breath, clouding the air. Hello, I call, feeling like the idiot who dies first in a slasher film. No answer, just the fog's soft hiss. Joke 3, if this town's on TripAdvisor, I'm leaving a 1-star review. I keep walking the cobblestones, uneven, my heart a drumbeat. Wellsmere's secrets are close. I can feel them like a whisper you can't quite catch. The spire looms closer, and with it, the promise of answers. Or more reasons to regret not staying home with Netflix. The fog trails me like a clingy ex as I leave the pub, Wellsmere's church spire still playing hide and seek in the mist. My trainers squelch on the cobblestones, each step echoing in the unnatural quiet. I'm aiming for that spire, but the town seems to have other plans, funneling me down a side street lined with sagging cottages. Their windows are dark curtains, drawn like eyelids over secrets. I'm knackered, my legs heavy from the endless walk, and the idea of a bed, even a lumpy one, sounds like paradise. That's when I spot it, a sign swinging gently, painted with faded letters. The Silent Inn. Subtle Wellsmere. Real subtle. I push open the door, a bell jingling above like it's surprised to see me. The lobby's warm smelling of old wood and lavender, with a hint of something musty, like forgotten laundry. A reception desk sits under a flickering lamp, its guestbook open pages yellowed. Behind it, a woman with hair like spun silver looks up from her knitting. Her eyes are sharp, like she's counting my sins. Room for one, she asks, voice soft as moth wings. Yeah, cheers, I say, trying to sound less spooked than I feel. She slides a key across the desk, number 7, naturally, because this place loves its cliches. My gran used to say, rest where you're welcome, but don't overstay. She probably clocked this in as dodgy, but charmed the socks off the receptionist anyway. I sign the guest book, my name, looking lonely on the page. No other entries, which is either a red flag or proof. This town's tourism board needs a sacking. The woman Eleanor, her name tag says, points to a staircase. Up and left. Breakfast's at dawn. I nod, clutching the key, its cold metal biting my palm. The stairs creak underfoot, each step a complaint. Joke 1, this place makes my old uni flat seem like a 5-star resort. The hallway's narrow wallpaper peeling like sunburnt skin. Gas lights flicker, casting shadows that dance like they've got a grudge. Room seven's door is heavy oak, carved with vines that look too lifelike. Inside, it's past a bed with a quilt that screams great aunt's attic, a dresser, and a window overlooking the fog-choked street. I drop my bag, the granola bar wrapper crinkling like it's mocking me. The bed groans as I sit springs poking my thighs. I'm half expecting a ghost to pop up with a boo, but it's just me and the silence. I wander to the window, the glass cold against my fingers. Outside, the fog swirls, and for a second, I swear I see a figure tall, cloaked, gone before I blink. My heart does a little samba. There's a debate in psychology about pareidolia, where we see patterns like faces in random things. Maybe it's that, or maybe Wellsmere's messing with my head. I draw the curtains, their fabric stiff with dust. Back on the bed, I notice a bedside table with a drawer. Curiosity is my worst habit, so I tug it open. Inside, there's a brass pocket watch, its face cracked, hands frozen at midnight. Fun fact, pocket watches were status symbols in the 1800s, but sailors hated them. Salt water wrecked the gears. This one feels heavy, like it's holding more than time. I slip it into my pocket because apparently I'm that guy who nicks creepy antiques. The inn's quiet, but it's not peaceful. It's like the walls are listening, their silence louder than any noise. I lie back, the quilt scratching my neck, and try to relax. Joke too, if this bed's haunted, I'm charging it rent. My eyes drift to the ceiling where water stains bloom like abstract art. I'm bone-tired, but sleep feels risky, like I might wake up 100 years later with a beard and a vendetta. A creak snaps me alert. It's not the stairs or the wind, it's closer, like someone's in the room. I sit up, heart hammering, scanning the shadows. Nothing. Just the gaslight flickering, the fog pressing against the window. Get a grip, I mutter, but my voice sounds thin. I dig out my dead phone, its blank screen mocking me. No signal, no torch, no memes to calm my nerves. I pace the room, the floorboards groaning like they're snitching on me. The pocket watch in my pocket feels warm now, which is either my imagination or a sign I'm about to star in a cursed object story. I stop at the dresser, its mirror speckled with age. My reflection looks off, paler eyes too wide, like I'm auditioning for a zombie flick. I lean closer, and the mirror fogs like someone's breathing on the other side. I stumble back, nearly tripping over my bag. Nope, not today, I say as if Sass will save me. Joke 3. If this inn's on Airbnb, I'm reporting it for excessive spookiness. I grab the key, half tempted to bolt, but we're back to the fog, the pub, Eleanor's knitting needles. My grand's wisdom kicks in again. Fur's a guest. Don't let it stay too long. She'd probably tell me to make tea and tell the ghosts to sod off. I force myself back to the bed, pulling the quilt to my chin like a kid scared of monsters. The inn creaks, again a low moan. That could be pipes or something worse. My eyelids droop, the lavender scent lulling me despite my nerves. The last thing I hear is the fog's soft hiss outside, like it's whispering my name. Sleep tugs me under, but not before I wonder if I'll wake up in Wellsmere or somewhere else entirely. The silent inn's quilt is scratchy, but sleep drags me under like a riptide. I wake with a start, my mouth tasting like regret and last night's tea. The room's dim gas light still flickering like it's on its last legs. My hand fumbles for the pocket watch I nicked, still warm, still stuck at midnight. I shove it back in my pocket, heart thudding like I've been caught shoplifting. Outside, the fog presses against the window, thick as porridge. I'm still in Wellsmere then. Brilliant. I swing my legs off the bed, the floorboards creaking like they're grassing me up to Eleanor downstairs. My trainers are damp from last night's trek, and my stomach's doing backflips over that granola bar's absence. I grab my bag and head out, locking room 7 behind me. The hallway's colder now, the wallpaper's peeling vines looking more like claws. Joke 1. If this inn's got a spa, I bet it's just a bathtub full of cobwebs. Downstairs, Eleanor's gone, her knitting abandoned on the desk. The guest book still open, my signature, lonely as ever. No breakfast either. Dawn must have come and gone while I was dreaming of fog and faceless figures. I poke around the lobby, hoping for a biscuit or a miracle. Instead, I find a side room, its door ajar. Curiosity's my curse, so I nudge it open, hinges whining like a moody cat. Inside, it's a parlor straight out of a period drama. Velvet chairs, a fireplace choked with ash, and shelves stuffed with knickknacks. The air smells of dust and old paper, like a library that's forgotten how to breathe. My eyes snag on a table cluttered with photographs, their frames tarnished. I pick one up, wiping grime off the glass. It's a black and white shot of a family stern, dad, prim mum, 2 kids with creepy doll eyes. Their faces feel familiar, like I've seen them in a dream I can't shake. I grab another photo, this one of a market square, packed with people in old-timey clothes. There in the crowd is a man with Eleanor's sharp cheekbones. Another shows a woman by a river, her smile matching the barman from The Weary Traveler. My pulse picks up. These can't be them. They're too old, from an era of horse carts and gas lamps. Yet the resemblance is uncanny, like Wellsmere's recycling its residents. Fun fact, early photography required subjects to stay still for minutes, so people often looked stiff or blurry. These folks, though, they're sharp as knives. My grand's voice pipes up. The past clings tighter than you think. She'd spend hours flipping through her photo albums, telling stories of cousins, twice removed, who all looked like they shared the same scowl. She'd say, photos trap moments, but sometimes they trap more. I set the frame down, my fingers tingling. There's a debate in anthropology about whether images hold power. Some cultures avoid photos, believing they steal souls. Right now, I'm not laughing that off. I keep sifting through the pile. A photo of a clock tower catches my eye, its hands at midnight, just like the pocket watch. Another shows a festival lanterns glowing in the fog, faces eerily similar to the pub's old blokes. It's like Wellsmere's stuck in a loop, its people frozen in sepia. My chest tightens. Am I in these photos too? Somehow, I shove the thought away. Joke 2. If I'm in a vintage snap, I hope I'm rocking a better haircut. A creak behind me makes me jump, the photos clattering. I spin, expecting Eleanor with her knitting needles poised for battle. It's just the parlor door swaying, caught by a draft. Still, my skin prickles like I'm being watched. I stuff a small photo, the clock tower one, into my bag, because apparently I'm now collecting cursed souvenirs. The parlor feels smaller now, the walls leaning in like nosy neighbors. I head back to the lobby, my trainers loud against the floor. The guest books are still there, but now I notice faint pencil marks under my signature, like someone's traced it. I squint, but they're too faded to read. My grand's wisdom hits again. Trust what's written, but question who wrote it. She'd probably tell me to nick the guest book too, just to be thorough. I resist, but only barely. Outside, the fog's waiting, swirling like it's got a personal vendetta. The church spire's still my beacon, but the photos weigh on me, their faces burned into my brain. I pat my bag, feeling the pocket watch and the stolen snap. Joke 3. At this rate, I'll open a Wellesmere museum in my backpack. The town's quiet, but it's not empty. I feel eyes on me, hidden in the mist. The cobblestones lead me forward toward the spire, but every step feels like I'm walking deeper into someone else's story. I pass a shuttered shop, its mannequins still staring like they're judging my life choices. The fog muffles sound, but I swear I hear a whisper, soft as a sigh. Keep going, it says, or maybe that's my brain, filling in the blanks. Either way I do, because what else is there? Wellesmere's got me now, its secrets tugging like a fishhook. The spire looms closer, and with it the promise of answers, or more questions, dressed up as truths. The fog's got a mind of its own, curling around my ankles like it's trying to trip me up as I trudge toward Wellesmere's church spire. The stolen photo and pocket watch in my bag feel heavier than they should, like they're sulking about being nicked. The cobblestones are slick, and my trainers slip every few steps, making me look like I'm auditioning for a slapstick routine. The town's still too quiet. No birds, no wind, just my own breathing, and the occasional creak of a shutter. It's like Wellesmere's holding its breath, waiting for me to do something stupid. My gran used to say, when the world's too still, it's planning something. She'd mutter that while stirring her tea, her eyes sharp like she could see trouble brewing in the leaves. Right now, I'd kill for her no-nonsense advice and a proper cuppa. The spire's closer, its stone silhouette stark against the fog. But the streets keep twisting like the town's rearranging itself to keep me guessing. Joke 1. If Wellesmere's got a town planner, they're definitely on the naughty list. I pass a boarded-up bakery, its sign promising fresh loaves daily in peeling paint. The air smells faintly of burnt bread, which is either my imagination or a ghost baker working overtime. My stomach growls, reminding me I'm running on fumes and a dodgy pub tea. I'm about to keep moving when a sound stops me cold, a low resonant chime, like a bell, but deeper vibrating in my chest. It's coming from the spire's direction, and it's not inviting. It's commanding. I check my bag, half expecting the pocket watch to be glowing or something equally daft, but it's just sitting there, stuck at midnight. Fun fact, church bells were once used to mark time, ward off evil, or signal disasters, sometimes all three. This chime feels like the third option. There's a debate in history circles about whether bells have psychological power, their sound shaping human behavior. Right now, I'm behaving like a moth drawn to a very suspicious flame. The chime fades, but my feet are already moving, pulled toward the sound. The fog parts just enough to reveal a square ahead, dominated by a clock tower attached to the church. It's massive, its stone face carved with vines that mirror the ones on my inn door. The clock's hands are, you guessed it, frozen at midnight. I pull out the stolen photo. It's the same clock tower, down to the cracked glass over the dial. My skin prickles. This isn't a coincidence. It's a bloody invitation. I circle the tower, its base swallowed by fog. The church itself is locked, its doors heavy oak with iron studs like it's bracing for a siege. The chime comes again, louder, rattling my teeth. Joke 2. If this clock tower is trying to flirt, it needs to work on its charm. I spot a side door half hidden by ivy, its hinges rusted. I give it a push, expecting resistance, but it swings open with a groan like it's been waiting for me. Inside, it's dark, the air thick with dust and damp stone. My phone's still dead, so I squint, letting my eyes adjust. A spiral staircase winds upward, its steps worn smooth by centuries of feet. The chime echoes again from above, and my heart's doing a drum solo. I start climbing the stairs, creaking like they're gossiping about my life choices. The pocket watch in my bag feels warm again. Or maybe that's just my nerves frying. Halfway up, I pause, catching my breath. The walls are carved with symbols, circles, lines, weird squiggles that look like they belong in a cult's group chat. I trace one with my finger, and it's cold, like it's sucking the heat from my skin. My grand's wisdom hits old marks, mean old promises, don't touch what you don't understand. She'd probably whack me with her knitting needles for being this nosy, but I'm too deep now. At the top, I find a room, its ceiling lost in shadows. The clock's gears loom like a steampunk nightmare, rusted and still. A single window lets in grey light, the fog swirling outside like it's eavesdropping. The chime sounds again, so loud I clap my hands over my ears. It's not the clock, it can't be with its guts frozen. It's something else, something in the air, in the town itself. I step closer to the window, my reflection faint in the grimy glass. For a second, I see another face, older, lined with eyes like Eleanor's. I blink, and it's gone. Just me looking like I've seen a ghost. Joke 3. If I'm aging this fast, I need Wellsmere's skincare secrets. I back away my trainers, scuffing the dusty floor. The chime's gone, but the silence is worse, heavy with expectation. I head back down the stairs, feeling steeper, the symbols on the walls more accusing. Outside, the fog's thicker, the square empty. The clock tower looms behind me, its presence like a hand on my shoulder. I'm not sure what I found up there, but it's got me hooked like a puzzle I can't leave unsolved. The town's secrets are louder now, whispering in the fog, and I'm too stubborn or too daft to walk away. The clock tower's chime still hums in my bones as I stumble back into Wellsmere's fog. The square behind me, swallowed by mist, faster than a bad date ghosting you. The air's colder now, biting through my jacket like it's got a personal grudge. I clutch my bag, the pocket watch and photo inside, clinking like guilty accomplices. My trainers scuff the cobblestones, and I'm half expecting the town to send me in another loop, but the streets stay straight, leading me away from the spire that's starting to feel like it's got my number. I need somewhere to think, somewhere less exposed. My gran used to say, secrets hide where dust gathers. She'd say it while rummaging through her attic, pulling out letters or trinkets that told stories nobody else remembered. Right now, I'm betting Wellsmere's secrets are buried under a pile of their own dust. I spot a building ahead, half hidden by ivy, with a sign reading Library and Archives in faded script. Perfect. If this town's got answers, they're probably loitering between moldy pages. The library door creaks open, hinges, whining like they're allergic to visitors. Inside, it's a time capsule of neglect, shelves sagging under leather-bound books, air thick with the smell of old ink and regret. A single gas lamp flickers like it's on a 0-hour contract. Behind a desk piled with scrolls, an old man peers up his glasses, so smudged they're basically decorative. Looking for something, he asks dry as the parchment under his hands. Just history, I say, aiming for vague. He points to a corner where books stack like they're plotting a coup. Joke one. If this library's got a coffee shop, it's serving decaf and despair. I weave through the shelves, my fingers trailing over spines embossed with titles like Annals of Wellesmere and Tides of Years. The floor creaks, and I feel that prickle again, like the town's eyes are on me. There's a debate in sociology about how libraries shape collective memory, how what's shelved or hidden defines a community's truth. Wellesmere's hiding something all right. I settle at a table, pulling out the clock tower photo. Its edges are curling, the sepia faces staring like they're judging my research skills. I grab a book, its cover embossed with that same vine from the inn and clock tower. Inside, its handwritten, ink-smudged pages, brittle as autumn leaves. It's a journal, not a book. Someone's notes dated over a century ago. The writer rambles about bindings and cycles, words like ritual and time, circled like they're shouting. My pulse quickens. This isn't history. It's a bloody instruction manual. The journal mentions a chime that holds tying the town to eternal midnight. It's vague like a professor dodging a deadline, but it matches the clock tower's frozen hands and that eerie bell. Fun fact, in the 1800s, some towns used time balls to sync clocks dropped daily at noon. Wellesmere's chime feels like the opposite, locking time instead of marking it. I flip pages, finding sketches of symbols I saw in the clock tower, circles, lines, squiggles that make my head ache. My grand's wisdom hits old words, carry old weights. She'd tell me to read between the lines, but burn the book if it felt wrong. This journal feels wrong, like it's reading me back. I keep going, finding a passage about newcomers who stir the cycle. Great, so I'm not just a tourist, I'm a cosmic spanner in the works. Joke 2. If I'm breaking time, I hope I get a refund on my existential crisis. A creak snaps me out of it. The old man's gone. His desk empty, glasses left like a prop. I'm alone, but the air's heavier, like someone's breathing just out of sight. I shove the journal in my bag. Yep, I'm officially a kleptomaniac for creepy artifacts. The lamp flickers, shadows dancing like they're mocking my nerves. I stand my chair, scraping loud enough to wake the dead, which in Wellesmere feels like a real risk. I head for the door, but a side shelf catches my eye, stuffed with more journals. I grab one, flipping it open. Same handwriting, same symbols, but newer, dated decades later. It's like the writer never stopped, or someone else picked up the pen. A line chills me. The fog keeps what the chime binds. I slam it shut, my heart, doing a drum solo. Joke 3. If this town's got a book club, I'm not joining. Outside, the fog's waiting thicker than ever. Like it's pissed I've been snooping. The library door clicks shut behind me, and the street feels narrower. The spire's silhouette barely visible. The journal's weight in my bag is a reminder. Wellesmere's not just a place. It's a trap, and I'm neck deep in its bait. I keep moving the fog, whispering the chime's echo, lingering like a warning I'm too stubborn to heed. The fog's got a grip on Wellesmere tighter than my grand's clutch on her bingo winnings, and it's not letting me go either. I stumble away from the library, the stolen journal, and pocket watch in my bag, practically humming with the bad vibes. The cobblestones are slicker now, like the town sweating under its own secrets. My trainers squelch, and every step feels like I'm wading through treacle. The spire's silhouette is gone, swallowed by mist so thick I can barely see my own hands. I'm lost, properly lost, and the air's got that sharp burnt sugar tang again, like the fog's cooking up something nasty. My gran used to say, "When you're lost, listen for the truth." She'd mutter that while navigating her village's back lanes, always finding her way by some sixth sense I never inherited. Right now, I'm listening, but all I get is silence until it's not. A whisper brushes my ear soft as a spider's leg saying my name. I freeze, heart hammering like it's trying to escape. Nope, not today. I mutter, but my voice shakes. The fog pulses, and there it is again. Stay, not creepy at all. Wellsmere cheers. I spin, expecting a jump scare, but it's just mist and shadows. Joke 1. If this fog's got a Tinder profile, it's definitely catfishing. I keep moving, picking a direction at random, because standing still feels like signing a lease with the creepy whispers. The journal in my bag weighs on me, its talk of bindings and eternal midnight looping in my head. That chime from the clock tower. It's not just a sound. It's a chain, and I'm tangled in it. The street narrows, cottages loom in like they're eavesdropping. Their windows are dark, but I swear I see movement. A curtain, twitch, a shadow darting. There's a debate in psychology about hypervigilance, where your brain goes into overdrive, seeing threats everywhere. Maybe it's that, or maybe Wellsmere's just that dodgy. Either way, my neck's prickling, like I'm starring in a low-budget thriller. I pat my bag, the pocket watch, warm through the fabric like it's got a pulse. The whisper comes again louder. Not just my name now, but words you see too much. I stumble, catching myself on a lamppost. It's iron cold and slimy. Mate, I barely see anything. I snap because arguing with fog is apparently my new hobby. Fun fact, ancient sailors believed fog carried spirits trapping lost souls who whispered to the living. I'm not saying I buy that, but I'm not saying it either. The fog shifts, thinning just enough to reveal a path winding between cottages. It's not a street, more like an alley, barely wide enough for me to sidle through. The whisper nudges me forward like a mate daring you to nick a sweet from the shop. My gran's wisdom kicks in, voices lie but silence tells. She'd probably tell me to tell the fog to sod off, but I'm too curious or too daft to ignore it. I follow the path, the cottage's walls brushing my shoulders, their stone damp and mossy. The alley opens into a small courtyard, ringed by crooked trees that look like they're sulking. In the center, there's a well, its rim carved with those same symbols from the clock tower, and journal circles, line squiggles that make my eyes itch. The fog swirls around it, and the whispers clearer now, coming from the well itself. Look, I edge closer, heart doing a drum solo. Joke 2. If this well's got a Yelp review, it's 1 star for excessive creepiness. I peer in, expecting blackness, but there's a faint glow, like moonlight trapped underwater. The air's heavy, smelling of wet stone and something metallic like old coins. The whisper shifts, not words now, but a hum, low and steady, like the chimes echo. I lean further, my bag slipping off my shoulder, and for a second I see something, a face not mine, rippling in the water. It's gone before I can blink, leaving just my reflection, pale and wide-eyed. I back away, nearly tripping over my bag. The fog thickens, the whisper fading like it's bored of me. My hands shake as I sling my bag back on the journal's weight, grounding me. That well's tied to the chime, the fog, the whole bloody town. I'd bet my last granola bar on it. Joke 3. If Willsmere's got a tourist board, they're not mentioning that in the brochure. The courtyard feels smaller now, the trees leaning in like nosy neighbors. I pick a path back to the alley, the fog trailing me like it's sulking. The spire's still hidden, but I don't need it anymore. The whispers are my guide now, whether I like it or not. Wellsmere's secrets are peeling open, and I'm too deep to turn back, even if every step feels like I'm signing up for more trouble than I can handle. The fog still got me in its clammy grip as I stumble out of that creepy courtyard, the well's whisper fading like a bad radio signal. My bag's heavy, with the journal photo and pocket watch, each one a souvenir I'm regretting more by the second. The alley spits me back onto a cobblestone street, Wellsmere's cottages looming through the mist like they're judging my life choices. My trainers are soaked, my stomach's staging a protest, and the air tastes like damp regret. The spire's nowhere in sight, but I'm starting to think this town doesn't care about landmarks. It's got its own plans for me. My gran used to say, people hide what they can't forget. She dropped that gem while sorting through her old letters, her fingers lingering on names she'd never explain. Right now, Wellsmere's people feel like they're hiding a whole library of forgotten things. I pass a cottage with a cracked window, catching a glimpse of someone inside, an old woman. Her back hunched, stirring something in a pot. She doesn't look up, but her shadow stretches long, like it's reaching for me. I keep moving, the fog swirling like it's got a grudge. A figure shuffles ahead, bundled in a coat that's more patches than fabric. It's one of the pub geezers, his flat cap unmistakable. Oimot, I call, hoping for directions, or at least a normal conversation. He turns, his face weathered, as old leather eyes glinting like he's seen too much. You're still here, he says, not a question. More like he's disappointed I haven't scuppered. Yeah, bit lost, I admit, aiming for casual. He grunts, pointing down the street. Market's that way. Mind your step. His voice is gravelly, and he shuffles off before I can ask more. Joke 1. If Wellsmere's got a welcome committee, this bloke's not on it. I follow. His vague directions, the cobblestones, uneven, the fog, muffling my steps. There's a debate in anthropology about how communities gatekeep their past. Some by silence, others by misdirection. This geezer's giving me both. The street opens into a small market square. Stalls shuttered, their canvas awnings sagging like they're tired of the fog too. A few townsfolk mill about, their faces familiar in that photo album from Hellway. There's a woman selling apples, her hands gnarled, her smile too sharp. Another bloke's mending a net, his fingers moving like they're on autopilot. I approach the apple lady, fishing for info. Nice town, I lie. Been here long? Her eyes narrow, like I've asked her PIN number. Long enough, she says, handing me an apple without asking. It's cold, waxy, and I'm not sure I trust it. Fun fact, apples were once called winter bananas, in some regions stored for months to last through lean times. This one feels like it's been here since Victoria was queen. I pocket it, muttering thanks, and move on. The townsfolk don't stare, but their glances linger like they're sizing up my soul. I spot a bench and sit the wood damp under my jeans. The journal's burning a hole in my bag, its talk of bindings and newcomers too close to home. I pull it out, flipping to a page about names lost to the cycle. It's cryptic, but it fits. These people act like they've forgotten who they are, or don't want to remember. I try the geezer mending nets. Next, his hands, still working that rope like it's his life's mission. Know anything about the clock tower? I ask casual as I can. He pauses, his fingers twitching. Don't ask about chimes, he mutters, eyes darting to the fog. Best you leave. Cheers, mate, super helpful. Joke 2. If this town's got a FAQ page, it's just go away in bold. My grand's wisdom hits. Some truths are locked in tight, don't force the key. She'd probably charm this bloke with a scone and get his life story. But I'm stuck with my own charm, which is running on fumes. I stand the apple heavy in my pocket. The market's quieter now, the townsfolk drifting away like ghosts at dawn. I catch the apple lady watching me, her smile gone, her eyes like Eleanor's sharp knowing. I nod like I'm not freaking out and head out of the square. The fog's thicker, the whispers back, soft as a sigh. Stay. I ignore them, but my heart's not convinced, thumping like it's late for a train. The street curves and I pass a kid, first one I've seen drawing on the cobblestones with chalk. Her lines look like the journal's symbols, and she hums a tune that's too close to the chime. Nice drawing, I say, crouching. She looks up, her eyes old like she's borrowed them from someone ancient. You're new, she says then, runs off her chalk, rolling into the fog. Joke 3. If Wellsmere's got a school, it's teaching how to creep out strangers. 101. I pick up the chalk, it's dust white on my fingers. The fog swirls, and the spire's silhouette flickers ahead like it's teasing me. These people, their half answers, their familiar faces, they're tied to the chime, the well, the journal's mad scribbles. I'm not leaving until I crack this, even if every step feels like I'm signing up for a starring role in Wellsmere's eternal rerun. The fog's got Wellsmere in a chokehold, and I'm not faring much better, stumbling away from the market square with that kid's chalk still dusting my fingers. The spire's silhouette taunts me through the mist, but the streets keep twisting, like the town's playing a sadistic game of keep away. My bag's a museum of bad decisions, journal, photo, pocket watch, and now a suspicious apple that's probably cursed. My trainers are soaked, my stomach's on strike, and the whispers are back, soft and smug. Stay. Yeah, cheers, fog, but I'm not ready to sign a lease. My gran used to say, water carries what people forget. She'd say it by the river, near her house, tossing pebbles and watching ripples like they held secrets. Right now, Wellsmere's fog feels like a river dragging bits of this town's past along with it. I follow the street, hoping it'll spit me out somewhere useful and catch a new sound, not the chime, but a low rush like water over stones. The fog thins just enough to reveal a path sloping downward, flanked by gnarled trees that look like they're sulking. The path leads to a riverbank, the water dark and sluggish, reflecting the mist like a cracked mirror. It smells of mud and something sharp, like rusted iron. I crouch the damp grass, soaking my jeans, and stare at the current. It's hypnotic the way it swirls like it's trying to tell me something. There's a debate in environmental science about rivers as memory keepers holding traces of human history in their sediment. This one feels like it's got Wellsmere's whole biography tucked in its depths. A rustle snaps me out of it. Across the river, a figure stands cloaked in a coat so tattered it's more holes than fabric. Their face is hidden, but they're still like a statue carved from fog. Oi, I call because yelling at strangers in creepy towns is apparently my brand. They don't move, but the air shifts heavier, like the river's holding its breath. Fun fact, rivers were sacred in some old cultures, seen as thresholds to other worlds. This one's giving off serious, do not cross vibes. I stand my knees creaking, like I'm auditioning for a pensioner role. The figure raises a hand, not waving, more like pointing at me or maybe the river. You see, they say voice faint, like it's coming from underwater. My heart does a little samba. Joke one, if this is Wellsmere's river tour guide, I'm not tipping. I edge closer to the bank, the water lapping at my trainers. The figure's still pointing, and now I see it a glint in the river, something catching the faint light. I squint, leaning forward, and spot a chain half buried in the mud, its links carved with those bloody symbols from the journal and clock tower. It's not just jewelry. It's heavy, like it's meant to hold something down. My grand's wisdom kicks in. What's buried wants to stay that way. She'd probably tell me to leg it, but I'm too stubborn or too daft to listen. I reach for a stick, poking at the chain, and the water ripples, the figure's voice sharper now. Don't. I freeze, stick mid-poke. The figure's closer somehow, without moving their cloak, blending with the fog. Their voice is layered like multiple people, whispering at once. It binds. Great, so I found another piece of Wellsmere's cosmic jigsaw, and it's as clear as mud. Joke two, if this river's got a lost and found, it's full of cursed knickknacks. I drop the stick, standing my hands clammy. The chain still glinting, tempting, but I'm not fishing it out. Not with Cloaky McCreep staring me down. The figure lowers their hand and the fog thickens, swallowing them like they were never there. My pulse is a drum solo, and the river's rush sounds louder, like it's laughing at me. I back away, the grass squelching underfoot. The chain's tied to the journal's bindings. I'd bet my last dry sock on it. The pocket watch in my bag feels warm again, like it's jealous of the new mystery. I pat it, muttering, "Calm down. You're still my favorite cursed object." The path back to the street feels longer, the trees leaning in like they're gossiping. The fog's whispering again, but it's fainter, like it's sulking. I didn't grab the chain. Joke three. If Wellsmere's got a fishing club, I'm not signing up. The river's hum fades behind me, but its weight lingers, like I've seen something I can't unsee. The town's secrets are piling up, each one a knot in a rope I'm too deep to untangle. I keep walking, the spire's shadow flickering ahead, promising answers or more traps dressed as truths. The river's hum still clings to me like damp socks as I trudge back from the bank, Wellsmere's fog wrapping tighter than a clingy scarf. My bag's a ticking time bomb of pilfered goods, journal, photo, pocket watch, apple. And now the memory of that chain glinting in the mud. The cobblestones reappear under my trainers, slick and uneven, leading me away from the river, but not from the town's grip. The spire's silhouette flickers through the mist, but I'm not chasing it yet. That cloaked figure's warning, it binds, is looping in my head, and I need a breather before I dive deeper into Wellsmere's cosmic mess. My gran used to say, reflections show more than faces. She She'd say it while polishing her old mirror, her eyes catching mine in the glass like she saw secrets I didn't know I had. Right now, I'm dodging reflections because every window in this town feels like it's watching. The street narrows cottages, huddling closer, their shutters cracked like half-open eyes. I pass a shop with a sign, Antiques and Curious, and a window so grimy, it's practically opaque. Something pulls me to stop, like the fog's nudging me again. The door's unlocked bell jangling like it's startled. Inside, it's a hoard of forgotten things, dusty clocks, chipped teacups, a violin with no strings. The air smells of wax and mildew like a charity shop left to sulk. A mirror hangs on the far wall, tall and ornate, its frame carved with vines that match the clock towers. My reflection's there, looking knackered and pale, but the glass ripples like water disturbed by a stone. I blink, and it's still just me looking like I've lost a fight with a ghost. I step closer, my trainers scuffing the warped floorboards. The mirror's surface is speckled, but my reflection's too clear, sharper than it should be. There's a debate in optics about how mirrors distort under stress. Old glass can warp bending light in weird ways. This one's doing more than bending. It's showing me a street behind me that isn't the shop. Cobblestones fog and figures in old-fashioned clothes moving like a silent film. My heart's doing a drum solo. Joke one, if this mirror's on eBay, it's listed as haunted no returns. I touch the glass, cold as ice, and the scene shifts. A woman, her face like Eleanor's, stitching something by candlelight. She looks up right at me, and the mirror cracks, a spiderweb fracture snapping across my reflection. I stumble back, nearly knocking over a brass candlestick. Nope, not my fault, I mutter, like the shop's gonna send me a bill. Fun fact, in Victorian times, mirrors were covered after a death to stop spirits getting trapped. This one feels like it's trapping me instead. My grand's wisdom hits what you see isn't always what's there. She'd probably tell me to smash the mirror and run, but I'm too curious or too daft to bolt. I circle it, checking for wires or some Scooby-Doo trick, but it's just glass and wood heavy with age. The cracks spreading slow as a yawn, and the air's thicker, like the shop's holding its breath. I pull out the journal, flipping to a page about veils and crossings, words that sound too close to what I just saw. A creak makes me jump. The shop's empty, but a curtain behind the counter sways like someone's just slipped through. I'm not daft enough to follow, not yet, but my neck's prickling, that being watched feeling back in full force. I shove the journal away and grab the pocket watch, its hands still stuck at midnight. It's warm, pulsing faintly, like it's synced to the mirror's weirdness. Joke 2. If this watch and mirror start a band, I'm not buying tickets. I back toward the door, keeping the mirror in sight. My reflection's still there, but now it's got company. A shadow tall and cloaked, like the river figure. I freeze breath, clouding the air. The shadow moves, and I don't raising a hand when mine's at my side. All right, mate, you win, I say, voice thin. I bolt the bell clanging as I hit the street fog, swallowing the shop behind me. The cobblestones feel shakier now, like the town's laughing at my panic. The mirror's images, Eleanor's look-alike, that other well-smear tie to the journal's cycles and the river's chain. This town's not just stuck. It's layered like a cake nobody asked for. Joke 3. If Wellsmere's got a travel agent, they're selling one-way tickets to Nopeville. I keep moving the spire's shadow sharper, now pulling me toward whatever's next. Answers traps or another reason to regret not staying home with Netflix. The fog's got Wellsmere locked down tighter than my grand's biscuit tin, and I'm still reeling from that Mirror's little horror show as I stumble onto a new street. My bag's practically groaning with cursed loot journal photo pocket watch apple, and my trainers are so soggy they're staging a mutiny. The spire's shadow looms ahead, but the town's got other plans, because suddenly the air's alive with light and noise. Lanterns glow through the mist strung across the street like they're gate-crashing Halloween. Voices hum laughter bubbles, and the smell of roasted chestnuts hits me like a hug I don't trust. My gran used to say, celebrations hide what's broken. She'd mutter that at village fetes watching folks dance around feuds with fake smiles. Right now, Wellsmere's pulling the same trick. The streets transformed into a festival stalls, draped in bunting townsfolk milling about in coats that look suspiciously vintage. It's like I've tripped into one of those sepia photos, except everyone's moving their faces, glowing under the lanterns. My stomach growls. Those chestnuts smell divine, but my gut's screaming. This is too convenient. I weave through the crowd, dodging a kid with a toffee apple, and an old bloke juggling apples like he's auditioning for a circus. The apple lady from the market's here, her stall piled with fruit that looks too perfect. She catches my eye, her smile sharp as a blade. "Try one, love," she says, holding out an apple, red as a warning sign. I pat the one in my pocket, still waxy, still dodgy, and shake my head. "I'm good, cheers. Joke one, if this festival's got a theme, it's eat this and regret it." The lanterns flicker, casting shadows that dance like they've got secrets. There's a debate in cultural studies about festivals as liminal spaces where normal rules bend and truths slip out. This one's liminal, all right, but it's hiding more than it reveals. I spot the pub geezer from earlier, his flat cap bobbing as he pours ale from a barrel. He doesn't look at me, but his mate, the net mender, does, his eyes narrow, like I've crashed their party uninvited. I keep moving, drawn to a stage where a fiddler's playing a tune that's too close to the clock tower's chime. The crowd sways their faces, familiar Eleanor's cheekbones, the barman's jaw, the kid from the market's old eyes. It's like Wellsmere's remixing its cast, and I'm the odd one out. Fun fact, medieval festivals often doubled as rituals masking offerings to old gods under ale and dancing. This one feels like it's masking something darker, and I'm not keen to find out what. A hand brushes my arm, and I jump, nearly dropping my bag. It's a woman, her hair silver like Eleanor's, her dress straight out of a Jane Austen novel. "Dance," she asks, her voice soft but insistent. Her eyes are too deep, like wells I could fall into. My grand's wisdom hits don't join what you don't understand. She'd probably tell me to fake a sprained ankle, but I just mumble, bad knees, and sidestep. Joke 2. If Wellsmere's got a dance floor, it's probably a portal to Narnia. The fiddler's tune speeds up, and the crowd's energy shifts like they're all in on a secret I'm not. I slip toward a quieter stall, this one selling trinkets, rings, pendants, a chain that looks too much like the one in the river. My heart skips. I lean closer, and the stallholder, a bloke with the barman's nose, says, "See something you like." His tone's casual, but his eyes are locked on my bag like he knows what's inside. "Just browsing," I say, backing off. The pocket watch in my bag pulses warm and heavy, like it's jealous of the chain. The festival's lights are too bright, the laughter too loud, and I'm starting to feel like a mouse in a cat's game. I duck into an alley, the noise fading behind me, the fog rushing in like it's been waiting. The lantern's glow doesn't reach her, and the air's cold, smelling of damp stone. I pull out the journal, its pages crinkling in the dark. A line jumps out, the cycle masks itself in joy. Great so, this festival's not just a party, it's a bloody cover-up. A creak makes me shove the journal back. The alley's empty, but my neck's prickling, that being watched vibe stronger than ever. I step forward, and the fog parts, revealing a figure at the alley's end, tall cloaked like the river ghost. They don't move, just stand there, their presence heavy as the chime. "All right, mate, what's your deal?" I call, my voice thin. They don't answer, but the fog swirls, and they're gone, like they were never there. Joke 3. If Wellsmere's got a hide-and-seek champ, it's this bloke. The spire's shadow flickers ahead, sharper now, pulling me back to the town's heart. The festival's hum lingers, but it's hollow, like laughter in a dream you can't wake from. Wellsmere's secrets are dressed up in lights and fiddles, but they're still secrets, and I'm too deep to stop peeling them back. The festival's glow is a distant memory as I slip out of the alley, Wellsmere's fog slinking back like a mate who's been waiting to spill gossip. The spire's shadow cuts through the mist, but the cobblestones keep playing tricks, twisting under my soggy trainers like the town's got a vendetta. My bag's a thief's hall journal photo pocket, watch apple, each item a puzzle piece I'm not sure I want to fit together. The air's sharp with that burnt sugar smell, and the whispers are back smug as ever. "Stay," I mutter. Get a new line fog, but my heart's hammering like it's auditioning for a drum solo. My gran used to say old souls know old truths. She'd say it while sipping tea with her mates, their eyes glinting with secrets they'd take to the grave. Right now, I need someone with that kind of wisdom, because Wellsmere's secrets are stacking up like unpaid bills. The street curves and I spot a building I missed before, a library. Not the dusty archive from earlier, but a squat stone structure with windows like half-closed eyes. Its sign reads, Wellsmere Public Library, and it's giving off serious enter at your own risk vibes. I push the door hinges, creaking like they're personally offended. Inside, it's warm smelling of old books and wax polish with a hint of something musty like forgotten dreams. Shelves tower to the ceiling, crammed with leather-bound tomes and yellowed pamphlets. A gas lamp flickers, casting shadows that dance like they're mocking me. Behind a desk, an elderly woman looks up, her face a map of wrinkles, her eyes sharp as pins. "You're late," she says, like we had an appointment. Joke 1. If this library's got a loyalty card, I'm already in debt. Late for what, I ask. Aiming for casual. She hums, adjusting her glasses, which are chained around her neck like they're plotting an escape. For leaving, she says, her voice low, like she's sharing a secret with the books. My gran's wisdom hits listen to the old, they've seen the world's tricks. This woman's seen something all right, and I'm betting it's tied to the chime, the fog, the whole bloody town. I lean on the desk, my bag clinking. Know anything about the clock tower? Her eyes narrow like I've asked her to spill state secrets. You've been poking about, haven't you? She says, folding her hands, knuckles gnarled as tree roots. Fun fact, Librarians in Victorian times were often gatekeepers of local lore, curating stories as much as books. This one's guarding something, and I'm not leaving without a clue. There's a debate in folklore studies about how oral traditions hide truths in plain sight. Wellsmere's doing that, but it's not chatting. She stands beckoning me to follow. "Call me Agnes," she says, leading me through shelves that feel like they're closing in. We stop at a nook with a table piled with scrolls and a single chair that looks like it's served time. "Sit," she says, and I do, because arguing with Agnes feels like challenging a dragon. She pulls a scroll, its edges frayed, and unrolls it. It's a map of Wellsmere, but wrong streets loop in spirals. The clock tower marked with a symbol like the ones in my journal. "The chime binds," she says, tapping the map. "It holds the cycle, keeps us here." Her voice is steady, but her eyes flick to the shadows like she's expecting company. My pulse picks up the journal's bindings, the river's chain. The mirror's other Wellsmere. It's all connected. How do I break it, I ask, because I'm clearly the hero in a story I didn't sign up for. Agnes laughs dry as dust. "You don't. You leave, or you stay." Joke 2. If Wellsmere's got an escape room, Agnes is the worst hint giver ever. I lean closer, the map's ink smudged but sharp, showing a square I haven't seen. "What's this?" I point, and her face tightens. "Don't go digging there," she warns. "Some doors don't open twice." Great, so there's a literal trapdoor in my future. I'm about to push for more when a creak echoes. Not the shelves, but something heavier, like stone, shifting. Agnes freezes her hand, gripping the scroll. "Time to go," she says, rolling the map and shoving it at me. "Keep moving. Don't stop." Her urgency is contagious, and I'm on my feet, bag swinging. The lamp flickers, shadows lunging like they've got teeth. I head for the door, Agnes's voice trailing me. "Beware the chime's last call." Joke 3. If this town's got a tourism slogan, it's "Come for the fog, stay forever." The door slams behind me, and the fog's waiting thicker than ever, like it's pissed I got a hint. The map's heavy in my hands. The spire's shadow, just visible. Agnes's warning ties to the journal, the well, the festival's mask, Wellsmere's. A knot I'm too deep to untangle, but I'm not stopping now. The square on the map's calling, and I'm too stubborn or too daft to ignore it. The fog's got Wellsmere in a stranglehold, and I'm clutching Agnes's map like it's my only lifeline as I stumble back onto the cobblestones. My trainers are squelching my bags, a clinking mess of stolen relics, journal, photo, pocket watch, apple. And now, this cryptic scroll and the whispers are back hissing, stay like they're stuck on repeat. The spire's shadow flickers through the mist, but I'm not chasing it yet. Agnes's warning about the square on her map is burning a hole in my brain, and I'm too deep in this town's madness to back out now. The air's thick with that burnt sugar stench, and every step feels like I'm wading through a dream I can't wake from. My gran used to say, "What's hidden wants to stay that way." She'd mutter it while locking her diary, her eyes daring me to snoop. Right now, Wellsmere's hiding something big, and that square's the key, or a trap I'm too daft to avoid. I unroll the map, its ink smudged but sharp, the spiral streets looping like a labyrinth. The square's marked with a symbol, a circle with lines, like the ones in the journal. The clock tower, the well. My heart's thumping like it's late for a train, and the fog swirls like it's eavesdropping. I follow the map, the streets twisting underfoot, cottages leaning in like nosy neighbors. The whispers grow louder, not just stay, but something new below. I mutter cheers for the clarity fog because sarcasm's my only defense. Joke 1: if Willsmere's got a GPS, it's programmed to take the creepiest route. The map leads me to a plaza. Not the market square, but smaller. Its cobblestones cracked a dry fountain in the center, shaped like a vine-wrapped pillar. It's empty, but the air's heavy, like the town's holding its breath. I circle the fountain, the map trembling in my hands. There's a debate in archaeology about how sacred sites hide their secrets, some with traps, others with misdirection. This square's doing both because the cobblestones look normal but feel wrong, like they're humming under my trainers. Fun fact: medieval towns often built over older sites, burying rituals under churches or squares. I'm betting this one's got something buried too. I kneel, brushing dirt from a stone, and spot a faint carving a circle, just like the map's symbol. My grand's wisdom hits don't dig unless you're ready for answers. She'd probably tell me to leg it, but I'm too stubborn. I press the stone, and it shifts a low grind, echoing like the earth's groaning. A slab slides open, revealing steps descending into darkness. The air cool and damp, smelling of stone and secrets. My pulse is a drum solo. Joke 2: if this town's got a basement, it's definitely not for wine tasting. I pull out the pocket watch, its face glinting in the faint light, still stuck at midnight. It's warm, pulsing, like it's excited about the creepy staircase. I step down the fog, trailing me like it's curious too. The steps are worn spiraling tight, and the walls are carved with symbols that make my eyes itch. The whispers are louder. Here, not outside, but in my head. Below, I mutter. All right, I'm going chill, but my voice shakes. The stairs end in a chamber, its ceiling lost in shadows, walls glistening with damp. In the center, a stone altar's carved with vines and circles surrounded by chains, like the one in the river, their links etched with symbols. The air's thick like I'm breathing history, and the pocket watch in my bag's practically vibrating. I approach the altar, my trainers scuffing the floor, and spot a hollow in its surface shaped like the watch. Great, so I'm in a cosmic escape room, and my cursed souvenir's the key. I hesitate Agnes's warning. Some doors don't open twice, ringing in my ears. There's a creak above, like the slabs shifting, and the whispers spike urgent now. Now, I fish out the watch, my hands clammy, and place it in the hollow. It clicks fitting, like it was made for this. And the chamber hums the chains, rattling like they're waking up. The symbols on the walls glow faintly, and my heart's doing a full-on rave. Joke 3: if Willsmere's got a secret club, I just found the VIP room. The hum fades, but the air's heavier, like I flipped a switch I can't unflip. The watch is still there, but it feels different, colder. I grab it, shoving it back in my bag, and bolt for the stores, the chains clinking behind me like they're sulking. The slab's still open, thank God, and I scramble out the fog, rushing in like it's pissed. I went snooping. The square's empty, but the fountain's vines look sharper, like they're watching. The map's still in my hand, crumpled but intact. The spire's shadow looms closer, and the chime's echo lingers in my chest like it's counting down. Whatever I did below, it stirred something, and Willsmere's not happy about it. I'm too deep to stop, but every step feels like I'm signing up for a finale I might not survive. The fog's got Wellsmere in a death grip, and I'm stumbling out of that square with my heart hammering like I've just outrun a ghost. My bag's a jangling mess journal photo, pocket watch, Apple map, and the watch is colder now, like it's sulking after its stint in the altar. The cobblestones feel shakier, the air thick with that burnt sugar stench, and the whispers are relentless, hissing now like they're late for a meeting. The spire's shadow looms sharp through the mist, and I know I'm headed back to the clock tower. That chime's been the puppet master all along, and it's time to face it. My gran used to say, "Choices cut deeper than knives." She dropped that while mending clothes, her needle flashing like she was stitching life's loose ends. Right now, I'm staring down a choice stay and unravel Wellsmere's mesobolt and pray I outrun the fog. The chamber's hum still vibrates in my chest, and the watch's click in that altar felt like signing a contract I didn't read. I mutter, "Gran, you'd have a field day with this," and keep moving the spire, pulling me like a magnet. The streets straighten like the town's given up on misdirecting me. Cottages fade into the mist, their windows dark but watchful. I pass the pub, its sign creaking, and spot the apple lady outside her eyes, glinting like she knows what I did below. "Careful, love," she calls, her voice too sweet. Joke one if Wellsmere's got a betting pool. She's got odds on me screwing this up. I nod, clutching my bag, and hurry on. There's a debate in philosophy about free will versus fate, whether choices are yours or scripted. Right now, Wellsmere's got me feeling like a pawn in its creepy chess game. The clock tower looms ahead, its stone vines sharper in the fog. The chime hits louder than ever, rattling my teeth and shaking the ground. It's not just a sound, it's a summons, and my feet are moving before I can overthink it. Fun fact, ancient bells were cast with rituals, their tones believed to bend time or summon spirits. This one's bending something all right, and I'm caught in its wake. I reach the tower's side door, the one I climbed before, and its open ivy swaying like it's beckoning. Inside, the spiral stairs are darker, the air colder, smelling of rust and stone. The symbols on the walls glow faintly like they're waking up. My trainers echo, and the whispers are gone, replaced by the chimes echo in my head. Now I climb, my legs burning, the pocket watch heavy in my bag. At the top, the gear room's the same rusted cogs, grimy window, but the air's electric like a storm's brewing indoors. The chime sounds again so loud, I stagger, grabbing a gear for balance. The window's glass ripples, showing not Wellsmere, but another town, sepia streets, figures in old clothes like the mirror's vision. My reflection's there, but older, my eyes like Agnes's, heavy with secrets. I blink, and it's just me looking like I've aged a decade. Joke 2. If this tower's got a skincare routine, it's pure stress. I pull out the journal, its pages fluttering like they're nervous. A line stands out. The final chime offers a doorstay or flee. Great, so I've got a cosmic ultimatum. The chime hits again, and the gears creak, moving for the first time, slow and grinding. The cymbals flare, and the room shakes, dust raining down. My bag slips the watch, tumbling out, its face glowing like it's possessed. I grab it, and the glow fades, but the room's still trembling. The journal's right. This is the final chime, and Wellsmere's demanding a choice. Stay and break the cycle, or flee and leave it spinning. My gran's wisdom kicks in. Choose with your heart, but check the fine print. I step to the window, the other Wellsmere flickering like a bad signal. The fog outside swirls, and I see figures Eleanor the Apple Lady, the cloaked stranger, watching from below. Their eyes aren't hostile, just tired, like they're trapped too. I grip the watch, its cold metal grounding me. If I stay, what's the catch? I mutter, half expecting an answer. The chime's echo fades, and the silence is worse, heavy with expectation. I could smash the watch, maybe stop the gears, but the journal's vague on what breaking means. Fleeing's tempting, but the fog's not exactly rolling out a welcome mat. Joke 3. If Wellsmere's got an exit sign, it's written in invisible ink. The gears groan slowing, and the symbols dim. The choice is now, or I'm stuck in this loop forever. I take a breath, heart pounding, and make my move, hoping I'm not signing up for eternal regret. The clock tower's gears grind to a halt as I stand there. Pocket watch in hand, the final chimes echo, fading like a bad dream. Wellsmere's fog presses against the window, the sepia town flickering in the glass like a taunt. My bag spilled open journal photo Apple map, and the air's so thick I can barely breathe, heavy with that burnt sugar stench. The symbols on the walls are dim now, but the town's not done with me. It's like Wellsmere itself is leaning in, waiting to see if I'll stay or bolt. My heart's hammering, and the watch feels like a grenade, cold and heavy, ready to blow my choice wide open. My gran used to say, places hold grudges longer than people. She'd mutter it while weeding her garden, glaring at a patch of stubborn nettles like they'd personally offended her. Right now, Wellsmere's got a grudge, and I've stirred it up by poking its secrets, the well, the chamber, the chime. The journal's door is metaphorical maybe, but the tower feels like a threshold, and the town's not keen on letting me cross it. I mutter, Gran, you'd have a right go at this place, and grip the watch tighter. I step back from the window, the other Wellsmere vanishing, leaving just my reflection, pale, knackered, and looking like I've seen too much. The fog outside swirls, and I swear I hear it hiss not words, but a low growl, like the town's waken up. There's a debate in geography about genius loci, the spirit of a place. Some say it's just vibes, others swear it's real. Wellsmere's spirit is real, all right, and it's pissed I've been stooping in its basement. I kneel, shoving my bag's contents back in the journal's pages, crinkling like they're protesting. A line catches my eye. The cycle resists the breaker. Great, so Wellsmere's not just a trap. It's a tantrum-throwing trap. Fun fact, old towns were often built with defensive tricks, maze-like streets, hidden gates to keep outsiders out. Wellsmere's doing that, but it's locking me in. The streets shifting, the fog thickening like a wall. I stand, the watch still in my hand, its midnight hands mocking me. A creak echoes not the gears, but the tower itself, like it's shifting under my feet. The air's colder, the gaslight flickering like it's on its last gasp. Joke 1. If this tower's got a landlord, they're skimping on maintenance. I head for the spiral stairs, but the steps feel steeper. The symbols on the walls pulsing faintly, like they're warning me off. The fog seeps in through the door below, curling up the stairs like it's chasing me. Back off, I snap, because yelling at mist is my new hobby. Halfway down, the watch heats up, burning through my palm. I nearly drop it, cursing, as I juggle it to my other hand. The symbols flare, and the tower shakes, dust raining like confetti at a funeral. The fog's growl is louder, vibrating in my chest, and I stumble, catching myself on the wall. It's not just the tower Wellsmere's fighting back, like I've tripped an alarm by messing with its cycle. My grand's wisdom hits don't fight what's bigger than you outsmart it. She'd probably nick the fog's lunch money and call it a day. I reach the door. The fog's so thick it's like wading through soup. Outside, the square's gone, replaced by a street I don't recognize, cottages looming like they've moved house just to mess with me. The watch cools, but the air's electric like a storm's brewing. I pull out the map, its spiral streets blurring as I squint. The square's still marked, but the spire's dot is moving, like Wellsmere's rewriting itself. Joke 2. If this town's got a sat-nav, it's drunk on fog. I keep moving the cobblestones, slick the fog, pushing back like it's got hands. The whispers are back, not words, but a hum, like the chime's ghost. I pass a shuttered shop, its mannequins staring like they're in on the joke. The apple in my bag feels heavier, and I'm half tempted to chuck it, but I don't. Every relic's a clue, and I'm not giving Wellsmere the satisfaction of winning. The street curves and the spire's shadow sharpens, but it's wrong too. Tall, too jagged, like the town's mocking me with a fake. A figure flickers ahead, cloaked and silent like the river ghost. "Oh, you again," I call, but they're gone. The fog swallowing them like a cheap magic trick. The watch pulses, and the hum spikes, the ground trembling. Wellsmere's not letting me go. It's closing ranks, the cycle tightening like a noose. Joke 3. If this town's got a bouncer, it's the fog, and I'm on the blacklist. I grip the watch, my choice made, but not sealed. The spire's close, but getting there feels like defying a god that's already written my ending. Wellsmere's fog is a living thing now, clawing at me like it's got a score to settle as I stumble toward the spire's shadow. My trainers slip on the cobblestones. My bag's a rattling hoard, journal, photo pocket, watch, Apple map. And the watch is ice cold like it's mourning the choice I'm about to make. The hum's gone, but the silence is worse, thick with the burnt sugar stench that's soaked into my skin. The town's done playing its streets, don't twist anymore, leading me straight to the clock tower like I'm on a leash. The final chime's waiting, and Wellsmere's betting I'll blink first. My gran used to say, endings are just beginnings in disguise. She'd whisper it while knitting her needles, clicking like they were weaving fate. Right now, I'm hoping she's right, because this feels like an ending, and I'm not sure what's on the other side. The spire looms its vines sharper the clock face, glaring down with its midnight hands. The fog parts just enough to show the tower's door open and waiting like a mouth. I mutter, "Gran, you'd have a right go at this," and step forward, heart thumping, like it's trying to escape. Inside, the air's heavy, smelling of rust and stone. The spiral stairs, lit by a faint glow from the symbols on the walls. They're dull now, like they've spent their last spark. My trainers echo softer than before, like the tower's swallowing sound. There's a debate in mythology about thresholds, places where worlds meet, where choices stick. This tower's one, and Wellsmere's daring me to cross it. I climb the watch in my hand, its weight a reminder of the chamber's click, the cycle I've stirred. At the top, the gear room's quiet, the cog still, the window showing only fog. No sepia town, no ghost reflection, just me looking like I've run a marathon through a nightmare. Fun fact, clock towers were built to mark time, but some say they anchored it, tying towns to their rhythm. Wellsmere's clock's done more than anchor, it's trapped the whole bloody place. I step to the gears, the journal's words looping. The cycle breaks with sacrifice. Great, so I'm either the hero or the offering. The watch feels heavier. Its midnight hands unmoving, but alive, like they're waiting for me to decide. I could smash it, stop the cycle, but Agnes's warning. Some doors don't open twice makes me pause. The fog outside presses closer, and I see them through the window. Eleanor, the apple lady, the cloaked figure, their faces soft, almost pleading. They're trapped too, bound by the chime, the chain, the well's glow. My grand's wisdom, its freedom's a gift you give, not take. She'd probably tell me to do something daft like knit them all scarves and call it a day. I hold the watch over the gears, my hand shaking. The tower creaks, the fog growling like it knows what's coming. Joke 1. If this is my big hero moment, I deserve better lighting. I close my eyes, the chimes echo, faint in my chest, and let the watch fall. It hits the gears with a clang, the cymbals flaring the room, shaking like it's coughing up centuries. The fog screams, not whispers, a full-on wail, and the gears grind slow at first, then faster, like time's finally waking up. The window cracks the fog, pouring in, but its thinning light breaking through like a shy dawn. The figures below fade, their faces soft, almost smiling, like I've cut their strings. My bag feels lighter, the journal's weight gone, the apple crumbling to dust in my pocket. The watch is still there, its face blank, hands gone. The cycle's broken, or at least dented, and Wellsmere's grip is slipping. Joke 2. If this town's got a warranty, I'm demanding a refund. I stumble down the stairs, the tower steadying, the cymbals dark. Outside, the fog's retreating, the square empty, the spire's shadow softening, the air's cleaner, the burnt sugar stench fading. I walk the cobblestones, firm the streets, straight leading out of town. The whispers are gone, replaced by a breeze that feels like a sigh. Joke 3. If Wellsmere's got a guest book, I'm leaving a 1-star review. The world grows quiet now, my steps softer, the town's edges blurring like a painting left in the rain. Wellsmere's secrets are scattered, its cycle cracked, and I'm walking away lighter, but not unchanged. The fog's a whisper of itself, trailing behind, like a child reluctant to let go. You're safe wherever you're listening to this. Let the night hold you, let the stars hum their own soft chime. Close your eyes, breathe slow and drift where the world can't follow. Sleep well, my friends, sleep well.